You think it's gonna get confused because there are gonna be people? Wait, no.
I think it's gonna be confused in generali. We could be having a
Because
normal
I'm here.
conversation. As a, to be fair, we're both here. Who knows? Maybe if I explain in the so this recording,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna play D&D. I'm the DM.
And I'm an Irishman.
Yes. We're gonna start now. Okay. Okay, wife. She's my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it gonna be like? Jeez, finish your fucking.
As you normally do.
No, but like it's worse.
ايش كنت ساتيت؟
I don't know.
Work.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. Let us begin.
I got my dice in hand.
Vice grip.
No, literally, it's really hurting because I have the D4 here, and it is inside my finger.
Are those the sharp edges ones?
Of course, look at it.
Jesus Christ, babe. How about you set them down?
I love how instead of lifting my finger, I just showed you this one by digging it into my flesh more. This is being recorded. I need to shut the fuck up.
It's okay. Okay. Oren.
I feel like a wet cat.
Yeah, that's fair. Oren. You're not quite certain when consciousness came to you. All that you know is that now you are. You start to take stock of what you're feeling. Non positive. The first thing you notice is an ache, which you can't really pinpoint where, to be fair. It's, let's call it a universal pain. But it seems to increase in intensity. Right at where your sternum ends. You know, like right underneath the sternum. But it is a dull ache, like that headache that just persists despite the medication you keep taking. Not that Oren is taking medication, I just meant like the
I know.
description.
It just felt really real.
Oh, yeah, me yesterday.
Me every day.
Uh, over time, it's like your mind clicks like, wait, I'm conscious. Okay. And your mind begins to focus on things other than the pain. And it's like your mind is filling out a checklist of, okay, we're alive. Let's see if all the systems are doing their thing. You know, and you
Heart,
do seem to
lungs,
be.
liver, nerves.
Yeah. Yeah. You do seem to be breathing. But what you notice is that your mouth is dry. Unbelievably dry. Like literally lacking any moisture. To be honest, like it's worse than waking up with that cotton mouth feeling of a hangover. You know, it's you can't remember the last time you felt your mouth this dry, you can't remember. You can't remember
I think Oren has dyslexia.
work.
Just doesn't. Side note.
Yeah. Is he struggling to write?
Extremely.
But yes, he. You can't remember the last time you felt your mouth this dry. If anything, you can't remember, period. As you breathe in, you start to focus on your senses. First is the smells that come with each inhale. First, it's mold, mildew, but then it's smoke and char. And then hints of wood varnish and a bit of incense in the air. Next comes touch. You can feel that you're sitting but leaned forward with your forehead against something hard. And your hands just rest limp on your lap. There aren't really any distinct noises that you can hear. Maybe the occasional gust of wind whistling through what might be cracks in walls, for example. In the distance, you can hear a few conversations here and there, but they're quite far. You can only hear them because of how quiet the actual close space around you is. Then, slowly, you try and open your eyes. It's when you realize that you are indeed sitting and essentially folded.
الشتاء الشتاء طب
Shit, I'm better. Inside.
لا لا أنا كل شيء نسيته
Where was I? Oh. Yes, you are indeed, like, seated, and as such folded over yourself. And when you open your eyes, you realize that your head is rested against a church pew, and you're seated on another one. You're not quite in a pose of worship. And you slowly start to try and move first your fingers, and then your feet, you try sliding them a bit. And then you slowly lift yourself up. And as you sit up, before looking around, you focus on yourself. And you see a thick layer of dust piled on top of you. In fact, even as you set up, behind you, you could hear dust and debris fall off your back. You know, confusion and a slight pinch of panic starts to clutch at the base of your throat a bit. As you try and recall the mere question of what the fuck? Where the fuck? How the fuck? Why the fuck? Um, you sit up and slowly your body seems to be start to become aware that you are indeed conscious. You can feel your mouth start to actually get some saliva going, but you taste dust, cement, like cement, mortar, if you will, old blood. That is, I mean, so old that it turned to dust in your mouth. And as you look around, you find yourself in this expansive cathedral. In front of you, there is a central altar, quite big. And from what you can see, the layout of this cathedral like building, it's not a cathedral in the way we are used to. It's, at least what you can see, it's like a cross shape. So there are 4 different sections with then this altar in the center. Something else that you notice is that despite this place seeming completely abandoned, it's not cold. Despite the stale air, you feel a warmth. Like you're right in front of a small fireplace. And it seems to be emanating from the center. And in the center, like in the very, very center of this cathedral, on top of this altar, is a huge column that goes up beyond the ceiling. Or at least you think, because you can only see obviously up to the ceiling. This thick spiral design, what seems to be made out of like a wrought iron material. And in between each of the spiral designs, like little crevices, you can see it seemed to glow red hot. You take stock of where you're positioned and you look down at your body, see what you're wearing, and it is what seems to be a simple robe of some kind of religious significance. And it's this weird sense of familiarity, but you can't explain what it means. Like you could tell, like, oh yeah, this is what I wear when I'm here. What is here? What did I used to do? Okay. And as you get this brief sense of familiarity with what you're wearing, you look up at the altar, and in this brief split second, you get a flash of the same altar, the same cathedral here, but without this huge pillar. And people seem to be praying very passionately all around this altar, some on top, some seem to be on their knees, some to be completely, there's a word for it, on hands and knees, but there's a word for it. The specific worship term, but I can't seem to. Alchirashuni, the word that's coming to mind is castrate, and that is not prostrate? Prostate. Whatever. Hands and knees in worship.
I know what you're thinking of, Tajahiri.
I think it is prostrate. Whatever. But yes, as quickly as that visual came to you, you good?
Yes, prostrate.
Hey!
That's
I
not the
knew
word I
it.
was thinking of, but yeah, we learn something new every day.
Yeah. But yes, as quick as that visual came to you, you blinked and it's back to what it is now. You see the floor, apart from the same old layer of dust covering everything, against the walls there seem to be shards of broken glass. And in fact, you look up at where the windows are, and most of them are shattered. You could have like, I feel like you would have noticed this before, and it's weird that you didn't. But you look to your right, and there's someone praying right next to you, and it gives you a bit of a you know, because you could have
He's
sworn
like-
you looked there. Like, I know I'm spaced out Malla, but like, Jesus Christ, you know. But yes, you see this older woman wearing similar garb, but with a veil as well, very much a nun's get up. And she is just praying ahead of you. She's kneeling on her knees, praying, not really addressing you currently.
Bro.
And after like a bit of a moment of you, like, what are
Just staring at her dead ass.
uh-huh
That's creepy as well.
she looks at you slightly, like not facing you completely, and she just goes, "It would behoove you to pray with me, son." She goes back to facing the altar.
I just nod and like,
And after a moment, you start to see a few more figures that you didn't notice before. Most of which are
better man.
most of them are in a similar position to you, kneeling between the church pews, praying. You see a man not wearing any religious clothing, just very normal, commoner folk clothing, some dark brown slacks and a work shirt. And he walks up to the altar and goes up a few steps and leaves something at the base of this altar. And you see him, before he turns back, he has this look of not heartbreak per se, but he does not seem to be happy leaving this object. the object itself, you can't quite tell what it is from this distance, but it seems to be like a long item, like slightly metallic from what you can see, like some of the light glinting. And speaking of the light, at first you thought it was like sunlight, but at dusk or dawn, because it was a very warm light. But the way it's flickering occasionally, you notice like, oh, this is firelight. But for it to shine from this high up, it means it's a big fire. But you can't quite hear any noises, any sounds of panic from the outside. So it's like, oh, so we're not gonna talk about the blaze of
Right.
glory outside. Got it. Okay, work.
Right. Right.
Right. Of course. Of course.
It's like crispy.
Yeah. And the woman next to you speaks some more after another prayer passes. And she just says, well, you have quite the nerve to come back here, son.
Wait, what do you mean? What are we praying to?
She can't help
What
but
are we doing?
give out a slight laugh at that reaction, in the vibe of like, sure. And she just goes, just kneeling and pretending to pray isn't going to atone for all your sins. The gods know that you've done plenty on this very soil.
I'm lost. I don't understand.
Give me a perception check. And my friend, since you are literally a blank slate, it's just going to be a straight d20, as will be the majority of your rolls currently, unless I say so.
Okay, first roll, ready? I start praying myself. 16.
Okay. Hey.
Okay.
Hey. A lot more than average.
Exactly. Right.
Right. So as she's speaking to you, you're still looking around to get your bearings. And the more you look around, the more, like, there's more and more people that you start to notice. But you see the man that previously put the offering onto the altar. He seems to be walking back. So before he walked towards the altar, he set down whatever it was, looked sad, and left. Now he's walking back with another offering. And as he sets it down, you notice, wait, no, that's the same offering. And he sets it down in the exact same place. He looks back up, exact same expression, and he walks back.
Didn't he already do that?
You did this. Son, we're all stuck here. Day in, day out. From dusk till dawn. We are here. And she back a bit and sits down. And as you look back towards her, she now faces you entirely. And this side of her face was fine. But you see the majority of her face is burned away. Some bone is exposed. Her right eye gone. It's just an empty socket. Red, just gore where an eye should be. Her cheek seems to have been burned away, and you can see the majority of her teeth. Some are gone, be it in her old age or whatever did this to her, and she seems to give you the answer of what did this to her as she leans towards you and grabs
Just
such
stab her back.
she grabs the front of your robe and pulls you towards her and goes, "You did this.
What did I do?
Everything and
I
nothing."
don't understand.
She pulls you in. Give me, as such, what can be considered like a strength to try and pull away. She is strangely strong for her being.
3,
3.
2,
I rolled another 19.
shots, 2.
She pulls you in, and you see in the empty eye socket there seems to be like a very distant small ember of a flame. And she's going to
Wait, I'm sorry, what the fuck?
she's gonna pull you in and try and bite the nape of your neck. So if you would kindly roll a d20 as an initiative. This is a bit too chill. There we go. Now we're cathedraling. I rolled another 19. Hello, is this weighted? Okay, so let me find her stuff. So, as context, you have nothing on you.
No.
You have a little robe and hands. She has teeth, which technically you do too, so hey. But let me just get her stuff down.
The hair's gone up, babe.
Now it's real. Mela, don't mind me. So in the
What the
meantime,
fuck?
so yes, she's gonna try and take a chunk out of you.
I'd say I tried to do it, but I got a 5.
Okay, so since you're not armored, we're gonna consider your AC a 10. Like the blank slate of an AC. So, Mela. For a bite attack, let me just check which this website is not slow right now for some reason.
What's my head?
Mela,
I
your
guess we'll find
health.
out.
Yeah,
Why
Let
did I
me-
speak for like
let me give you an actual like calculated answer, though.
No.
HP calc.
No, it's more fun this way. I don't know anything.
Either way, it's gonna be a stressful amount.
Yeah,
But
you
she's
can
level
keep
1,
it.
so
You can have it. You can know.
okay, I know. So,
What am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself?
so good news is, I rolled an 8 plus. Is it Dex? No, strength. Plus 1, 9. So she misses in that sudden moment of shock. You go like, what the fuck? And you hear her teeth like clash against each other in like the sickening ugh. And that was as such her action. What do you try and do?
Oh my fucking god. Okay. She's still gripping him, right? Like she's still holding on to him. Alright.
Oh,
Nice.
and interesting point of note, when she tried to bite his neck, like her face made slight contact with you. Frigid. But yes, it's your turn.
I'm going to try to just shove her face away.
Okay. So in this case, it would be
Put some distance between us.
she's right up in your shiz, if you will, as the kids
Right.
say. So roll a d20 with advantage. It's pretty hard to miss when she's up your
When her
dick.
face is right up my face, yeah.
Yeah.
Two sevens.
Right. Wait, let me see.
As
Ash,
that advantage, yeah?
Ash,
Two fucking
my
sevens.
girl has, basic undead stuff. Wait, no, meets it, beats it. Yes, so you do hit. Her is she's a nun, like girl. Um, so you palm heel strike. This nun, sacrilege. Um, and in that panic, you just thrust forward, and as you do make contact, it's you expect to hit bone and flesh. Emma, when you do make contact, it's like hitting very cold clay. Like even when you pull away, the palm of your hand is slightly numb just from how cold it was. It's like your hand went slightly through. It was a strange split second feeling that you can't quite decipher. So, in this case, since technically we can consider that your action, you still have movement and a bonus action. In this case, with that hit, she stumbled back and her foot got, like, her heel got hooked with, the thingy that you rest your knees on when you pray. And she
Yeah.
falls back. I'm sure there's a term for the fucking thingy, but whatever. Do I look religious? No, I just have a lot of trauma. Hence this game. So she falls back. So in this case, you can move away without the attack of opportunity or anything. Thank you.
I wish I am okay.
My mother.
Good job, one.
Job on. Eee! Vera, ما كذي. ها؟ Sorry, Allah.
You get cheese dice.
Yes. So
Um,
in this you still have movement, or what we can consider a
Oh.
bonus action.
I'm going to use the.
No, this playlist isn't combat. Why are we just chanting? Hello? Final Fantasy X. There we go, Dies Irae. I love Dies Irae.
I'm going to use the cues on both sides to just push myself up and like back the fuck away.
So when you stand up,
Keeping an eye on her and just stumbling backwards, basically.
you do stumble because when you stand up, oh my god, it hurts to move.
Great, perfect. Yep. Great.
And yeah, when you stand up, you see that same person that did the offering twice, you see he looks towards you, and in a similar fashion, like the part that was facing away from you seems to be heavily burned. He doesn't even have
fuck's
an
sake.
arm, just what looks like a stub of a fractured bone and just some muscle hanging there. And he seems to be looking towards you in suddenly this look of rage with the same ember like glow. And he
What the
starts to
fuck
rush
did I
towards you
do?
alongside at least like 4 others currently that seems to have
What
taken
did I
notice.
do? What did I do?
You ask them, what did you do? Um,
Multiple times, like I just did, yeah.
that question seems to somehow
I'm itchy.
valid. Put them between like a feeling between. Is this fucking summer? Yes, it is. Is this summer? Fuck. What was I saying? Oh, that question that you asked multiple times seems to put them in a mentality between pure offense and rage. Like, how dare you consider the notion of not knowing what you did? And they rush forward, and as they rush forward, you see the offering guy. He's attempting to run towards you as such as the crow flies, just bum rush in your direction. And in order to do that, he had to cross over some of the altar. And in that panic, I'm not kidding, I rolled a 1 just now. In that panic, he stumbles over what his offering seems to have been. And you don't consider yourself a lucky man, especially right now. But as luck would have it, with my 1, he kicks whatever this offering was a bit closer to you, and you can actually see what it is. And it seems to be this gnarly, jagged knife. And you see, it's not clean. It seems to have been used. And it is covered in
It doesn't
long
fucking matter.
since. Like the blade
It doesn't
itself is
fucking matter.
covered in long since dried and matted and rotted blood. To the point that some of it has rusted, but hey, tetanus, extra damage, whatever. So currently, theater of the mind. There's you. To your right, prone like on her back, is the nun. In front of you is offering guy, and between you and offering guy, pretty much equidistant, is this knife that was this offering. And you see, coming from the other 3 sections of this cathedral, more of these. I mean, to us, common folk, zombies. What do you do, my friend?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Hollow Knight.
They give you all this.
Thank you.
What are you doing right now?
Andy.
What kind? Wait.
New game.
Okay. Well, hi, Elliot. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay.
Alright, I'm gonna go.
You gotta break to eat this cookie. Wait, that's not a cookie.
That's Pop-Tarts.
No, it's bread.
Oh.
Alright, well. Sorry, alright, good. Have a good luck.
Thank you, I'm fighting zombies.
I mean, technically, it's like a savory cookie. When you think about it, it's a baked dough with toppings.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
No.
What do you do?
Wait, so I've got there's two fucks in front of me that are basically prone, and I've got bitches coming from the left and right, and this knife is in front of me, in between everything.
Pretty much.
So if I go for it, I'm risking being caught more.
But at least you'd have something to defend yourself with.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run first for the knife. That was
Roll a d20 for me.
oh gosh. Seven. Again.
I also rolled a 7.
You're a lucky number.
You run as much as your legs can run in the direction of this knife. In this same moment, offering guy is doing the same thing. Let's see. Alright. However, so since we both rolled low, I rolled the second one, which was also low. So I'm gonna say that you reach the knife first, but the caveat is that you are in melee range now with the offering guy.
Would I, or am I asking a bit too much? As I go to pick it up, and I stumble back. If he's going for it as well, could I lift it and hit him?
Roll.
Oh, great. Where? 12.
Roll a d4.
Four.
Oh shit, nice. So, this song is called Radiance. Ironic. Anyway, so you grab the knife and pull it up as you stumble back in the oh god, oh fuck, and it does make contact. You feel the blade cleave through. Again, this weird sensation of, rather than bone and flesh, it almost feels like I said, either clay or even just air with a much higher density. There's just more resistance to the movement. And you see, as you cleaved up, despite it not feeling like flesh and bone, the visual damage adheres with that. So as you cleaved up, you see you cut straight up his jaw, and almost like a fucking fish being filleted, you just flay the flesh on his cheek, which now just looks like a flap. Like he has like mandibles of an insect now, because this side has been burned away and this side is just now flapping, and you see old rotted teeth, some missing, some broken, all yellowed if not browned, just old. And you do manage to luckily step away in this panic.
Step away, Gwen. I'm sorry. Shit, I'm sorry.
So I need to roll to see what happens. Okay, so Mello. Permettili. So you have the knife, yes.
In your hand is a pristine knife.
Not very pristine, unfortunately, though. Sorry, Alice. Cleric Beast! Perfect. I have a character in this game very inspired by the cleric beast, so it's very fun to see it. Imma, as you step away and finally fully, properly grip this knife, you get another flash of an image.
Oh god.
A similar visual of people praying on this altar, but with this new heightened sense of pure panic. There's no other way to say it. You start to notice different things of this visual. You start to see these people are praying, yes, but with a level of desperation and necessity that fills you with unease. And you see at the center of this altar what seems to be someone who seems to be the focus of their prayers and where their attention is focused upon. And you see some people rushing towards this person, some people are praying over this person, and that's where it ends. And you're back to seeing this half dead, half burned man in front of you, stumbling towards you. And you notice, even as he's walking towards you, that his right leg, his knee, is like partially dislocated, so it's weirdly bent, but he's still trying to approach you. From behind you, what you assume to be either a door, an exit, or something, you start to hear activity happen. Sounds of heavy footsteps rushing in this direction, and several people yelling out, but in this panic state, to be honest, the majority of what you can hear is your heartbeat in your ears. But you hear several booming voices yelling in this direction, and you start to hear something banging against the door. Issa, I rolled for the order of what is going to happen. Mela, you stumbled back, and as you're struggling to stand back up, several of these people coming from direction that once again you swore you looked at and there was no one. They begin to approach, and you see what looks like a very ordained priest with a crazed look in his eye. You see his robes are not what's the word? Partially like ripped and torn away, like he's been in some struggle. Again, burn marks, cuts, and
That's what I do.
the main thing that is unsettling about this man is the fact that his head, which is meant to be upright, you're pretty sure, is
Oh, no.
fully bent in that direction. And you see, which series was it? Haunting of Hill House, the bent neck lady. You see the bump of what is probably his spine. And he just approaches towards you, and you hear him muttering with this like crazed face, like, we could have stopped it, and then you came in and broke everything. And he just claws in your direction.
I just woke up.
That is unfortunately a 14.
I just woke up.
So you get indeed clawed. Not much, but enough to be like, ow, am I? Am I? You are bleeding. Just clawed from the cheek down to like clavicle. Once again, frigid, frozen to the touch. Behind you, you start hearing more of these bangs, and you start hearing several people just yelling, "Get in there! Get in there now!" And a bit more of a panic start to build up. In the meantime, in front of you, there's bent neck priest, offering guy, but behind them you start to see a concerningly large number of these people start to walk towards each other and crowd. By this time you do manage to get up, and from between these two men, essentially, you see these people just get more and more dense as a crowd, and from the shapes of people, it just turns into a shape that you can't really tell where one begins and one ends. It's just honestly this tumorous lump of limbs that just begins to lumber towards you. You know that game Inside by the people that made Limbo? Yeah,
I think so.
I'll show you. There's a lump of whatever.
Come on!
And it starts to rush towards you.
No.
And give me a d20. Roll a d20 if you
Here you go, you can have it. Please, please. 5!
Okay.
No, it's not okay. Oh my god.
Unfortunately, they both rolled higher. So, both the bent neck priest and the offering guy, they just grab you by the arms. And once again, immediately your arms go numb with the cold that comes from them, and as such they almost like lift you up from your armpits and start to walk you towards this amalgamation. And you begin to approach, and you start to see faces and hands, a rib cage, a chest, legs, more faces, bits of hair. And the common thing about these faces is that despite that they're all different and unique, they all look so scared and desperate to survive.
I mean, same.
Yeah, it's this primal look of, don't do this. I don't want to die. And you see, as you begin to approach, despite the fact that it's this combination of so many different people and limbs and flesh and bone, as you begin to approach the closest part of this amalgamation towards you, you see hands start to reach out towards you. And this cold begins to overtake. And once again, that pain in like the base of your sternum starts to flare up again as you are completely absorbed by this thing. Let's put it back to the less intense stuff. Oren, You are praying in a cathedral. You are slightly stressed out by the situation. Obviously. Who wouldn't be right now? It's. You either do it now, or you don't get the opportunity to do it ever again. This ritual is the ritual. You wouldn't want to anger the Endbringer, obviously. Or even worse, disappoint the god of beginnings. Balance must be kept. And that is why, through your prayer, you are trying to help guide the people on the altar to finish the ritual. Next to you, you hear a woman's voice. And she just goes like, I always found this part to be rather boring. It takes too long. And you look, and if anything, you're so familiar with this person, you don't even look at her. She's your wife. And you're both praying next to each other. And after a moment, you hear her groan a bit and sit back at the bench and just goes, God, my back. Killing me. He is really taking his time, isn't he? And then you do look at her, not really focused on her, you just give a cursory glance towards her like abdomen area, her very big abdomen area, and you sit back and chuckle a bit, and with that notion of, you're sure you've said this a lot before, so that chuckle essentially just means like, in due time, in due course. Give it even a few more days. Like, she's in practically beyond third trimester at this point. It's that time of like, bro, just get this bitch out of me. And you know, you see a man bring forth an offering at the base of the altar. He looks forwards at this group of priests in the center, all huddled around something. And what seems to be, well, you know, is the head priest of this cathedral. If anything, you'd be able to tell if you didn't know either. He's very ordained with his priestly robes, and he leans down and first just hovers a hand on top of the offering. And he looks at this man, and they both share a knowing look of, this has to be done. And he takes the offering, the knife, and he turns back. And your wife just goes like, I always hated this part. And instinctively you just rest a hand on her knee, and you're still going through the motions, muttering under your breath, praying, and you feel in your chest like a divine power begin to build up in this joint ritual as the air grows thick with both the knowledge of, let's just get this done, and we'll be okay for another little bit of a while, you know. And yeah, You close your eyes and start to fully begin to focus on your ministrations, on your prayers, on repeating the same old. But you'd like to believe you're making a difference. And I just had the weirdest burp. Don't mind me. Mela, permettili. I'm sure this is what I'm. Is this what I'm looking for? Give me a second. Yeah, just ambience. Sure. When you crack open your eyes again, that same pain covers you. And despite having this blanket over you, you are shaking with cold. Your extremities have both a numbness and the beginnings of pins and needles as you start to get your blood flowing again. And you hear a very quiet conversation, like to your left. You hear the voices of so far two women just discussing hurriedly under their breaths. What do you do?
Just check myself, I guess.
So you open your eyes, like, what do you do to
Yeah.
check yourself?
Open my eyes. Look at my hands. Look around.
So when you look down at yourself, you see that your body is covered in, indeed, what seems to be a blanket made of sewn together patches of furs. And when you look around, you see a torchlit small room. The walls are made of this like big blocks of a grey stone, very like fortress-like. Even the torches themselves, they're held by an iron ribbed like structure affixed to the wall. And you see right next to you what seems to be like a cart, you know, with wheels that people can move around with, tools, certain a lot of the things seem to be of a medical nature. You see several tinctures, bandages, a laid out roll case of surgical tools, unused, unlike the several soiled bandages, which seems to be hued a dark red, and they're just placed in a bucket at the bottom of this cart. And when you look around a bit more, you see the two people that have been talking. They're at the opposite end of the room. Two women, one shorter than the other. The shorter one is clutching what looks to be like a clipboard, and she's occasionally looking down and checking the papers, and like shaking her head. And you see the taller woman. Oh, and the shorter woman seems to be at most in her like mid-20s. The taller woman is in her 30s, 40s, a bit older, a much calmer demeanor. She is standing with this almost perfect posture, and she's speaking to this woman, trying, or at least what you can tell from here, she's trying to calm her down. And then you see the shorter woman lock eyes with you, does a double take, and you just hear her go like, ah, Isabel, he's. And she doesn't even finish the sentence, she's just too shocked, like, and what you heard the other woman call Isabel turns around and she begins to walk in your direction and just goes like,
I like.
so he awakens. Calm down. I am not in need of your drama, as you have caused enough lately. How are you feeling, sir? And this woman you see, she has dark, like very like pitch black hair that is pulled up in like a half up, half down situation. Like somehow both. It looks like it was effortless in the way she put it up, but it's still like, ugh. God bless, like damn, fuck you for doing that.
The dream.
Yeah. And she is wearing a similar black like a dress where how do I even explain it? It's like an off shoulder, but underneath she has like a white shirt type. So it's like the outer layer, like the dress, you know what I mean? And then around her waist you see a belt with several pouches and pockets, and you see a lot of the pouches are made specifically to hold like certain tools. And yeah, she stands right in front of you, and her face, she has sharp features, and the look on her face is that of a calm smugness of like, okay, sir, like, what happened? Why are you here? And she's, unimpressed by your display of like, and just waiting for a response from you. In the meantime, the other younger woman is walking in your direction, and you see she has this shock of red hair, a bit curly and cut, essentially like chin length. And you see she has these this pair of glasses, which is a bit too big on her, and they keep like sliding down her nose, and she keeps having to fix them. And she's like awaiting you to speak. Well, say something. And Isabel speaks and just goes, now, Irene, this character here is quite interesting. But, sir, we're not getting anywhere if you decide to give us the silent treatment.
Do I still have my blade with me or no?
No. You are in bed.
Right. I'm going to try and feel where the gashes were. Are they there?
Yes. But you see what you assume to have been the deepest one, you can feel stitches lining them.
I'm going to feel them.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Owie. That shit hurts, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And you see, Irene just was like, I wouldn't touch them too much. They are freshly stitched, and technically the wound is still open, so, you know, infections. Ooh. Who are you?
Am I still dusty as fuck?
For the most part, like certain parts of you have seem to have been cleaned, but only like the injured parts, like where it
Mhm.
matters, you know. But
Right.
you can tell that you're not wearing the robes anymore, so you have been changed. And you wipe your what remains of the dust away. Well, what remains? A lot of it is stuck. You know, old dust when it just becomes solid. Yeah, you look like you have scales, bro. And Isabel just goes like, "Okay, I just washed those sheets. Can you please speak to us before you destroy this bed?"
It's not my fault you put a dirty man on a clean bed.
It's not our fault this stranger of a man trespassed in our most unholy grounds. Most secure grounds, might I add. Not a single case of trespassing up until this point. Guards were patrolling all around the Spearheart Cathedral, and yet you were in there, causing a ruckus, if you will. Then the guards barged in and found you bleeding on the ground. Care to explain that, sir?
Not sure I can.
Loving this mysterious vibe.
If I tried, I wouldn't believe myself.
You see Isabel just pull two stools from next to the bed, one for her, one for Irene, and she sits down, crosses her legs, and rests her hands on her knee, and just goes, "We have time." You certainly do.
Where's my blade?
That has been confiscated for their
Right.
investigation. You do realize you are under arrest, yes?
Sure.
Why there? So many other
Why
things
where?
to steal. And you went into
Steal?
the cathedral.
I'm not a thief.
Right, so you trespass instead, just for a hobby.
I didn't trespass either.
So what do you call walking into a deeply secure and guarded place without your permission?
You assume I just walked in.
Did you fly in? Do cartwheels?
I woke up there.
Right. Playing the whole... I don't know what came over me. I drew a blank and suddenly these people were dead all around me. Which, honestly, if there were any dead people all around you, it would make it a much simpler case. Ah, murderer. Done and dusted. Behind bars you go, but no. It was just you. Nothing in your possession. Just dirty, tattered robes. And a knife at your hand. Nothing else. Nothing stolen. Nothing broken from what we can surmise.
No one else.
No. Who else would be crazy enough to enter that cathedral, sir? I'm starting to debate whether it's a case of crazy or just plain stupid. Do you have a death wish, perhaps? Or maybe looking for sacred answers within the cathedral? In this day and age, sacred. Funny. Are you a man of the cloth, sir?
I don't know.
Right. That's my apologies. Let us start simple. Manners. Names. As you know, I am Isabel. My assistant here is Irene. What is your name? I trust that you at least know that.
Orin.
Ah. You know something. Impressive. Irene checked the logs for an Oren. And she just goes like, yes, right away. And she scurries away into another room. And you see, right as Irene leaves, Isabel's demeanor seems to shift a bit into less of a smug, but more of a serious and just done energy. And she just goes, Sir, Oren, you will make it much easier for both me and you if you told us what you were doing there.
It would, yeah.
What do you know?
I woke up. I was covered in dust.
You still are.
Yeah. And I was pretty sure I was alone. And then people were there.
People.
Yes. And they were burnt and broken and saying things were my fault. And there was this man giving an offering to the altar. The knife. And on his way to attack me, he dropped it, so I picked it up for defense. And I tried to get away, but they grabbed me. There were so many people just in an amalgamation.
And you're saying this all happened within the cathedral? I see. And might I ask how you got the gashes on your face?
The one given an offering.
Right. And you hear a small knock on the door, and Isabel just goes, yes, come in, Irene. And as she comes in, she just goes, did you find anything? Oren. And Irene just walks up now with what seems to be like this old tome, and she's flipping through, and she just goes, well, unless I missed it, I fear there is no Oren in these logs. He is not from here. And Isabel turns towards you and goes, "Ah, impressive. Not many people manage to travel this far out. If anything, anyone that is within the Spearheart stays in the Spearheart if their sanity is intact, which I am questioning very much." Well, sir, as I told you, you are currently under arrest for what is officially said for the trespass and slight vandalization of the unholy grounds of the Spearheart Cathedral. Now, I fear that not many others will be as willing to give you an ear to listen to this story of yours. So if there is anything else that you can give me that might sweeten the situation, even if slightly, the time is now. Or you tell me that all of this somehow is true. And I am in a difficult position here. I am one of healing, one of nurture, but also within the House of Law. So despite my healing hands, they bear no judgment, but my peers, well, their job is the pure opposite, so. Do you have any family, anyone that we can somehow contact? Truly an enigma of a man. Okay. Right. Irene, send in the cellmaster. And she gives a nod and walks out again. And you see Isabel just gives you this final look. You can't really read her face, and then she just gets up and goes back to the same area of the room she was in before, and her back is towards you, so she's, you know, not you can't see what she's doing specifically, but she's essentially occupying herself with something until Irene comes back.
They said it's my fault.
She stops a bit, turns back and just goes, "And by they, you mean..."
The people there.
"That attacked you in the cathedral?" I see. And she turns back, and there's a moment of quiet. And you're currently sitting up in the bed, and right next to you, you hear a voice, a man's voice. Um, and he just goes, you know, I'd run if I were you, sir. And you look in his direction, and all of a sudden you just see this man sitting at the edge of your bed. And you see his wrists are bound, and you can see a rope around his neck, but it seems to end in nothing, and it seems to just float above him. And he turns towards you with like this honestly pretty charming smile. He has like this slightly long, like chestnut brown hair, a bit floppy, unkept stubble, and he's just chill on the edge of your bed and just goes, you know, if you don't run, wouldn't rate it too highly. I would not recommend it. So, if you can find a way to leave, I'd do it, sir.
How would I even?
As you can tell, I didn't manage. So, manners. I'm Bert.
Oren,
Don't leave me hanging. And you go to shake his hand, and it's that same, like, very cold air. And you do grab onto something, but it's, like, not quite there. And you say Oren, and you see Isabel turns back towards you and goes like, yeah, I know. Is that the only thing that you are... What are you doing? And you're still like this. And Bert is just there like, ooh, this is awkward. Oh. I'll be back. And you blink and he's not there anymore. Are you okay, or you seem to be disturbed? Well, more than your usual state.
no, I'm fine. Fine.
The door opens again, and you see Irene, like scurrying next to Isabel, and she's wearing a similar like black dress with a white garment underneath, but it's a much simpler make of a dress. And behind her, you see a wall of metal, and this wall walks,
Albert, how the fuck am I meant to run?
walks into the room. Similar heavy footsteps that you heard behind you when you died? Question mark. I don't fucking know, bro.
Right.
And
Right.
you see this person just completely covered in this dark metal armor, which is like if you took gothic plate armor but made it thicker and slightly spikier. And even his face is completely shrouded in like a visor of a helmet, and even the visor itself, it's like you start debating if he can see through it. Actually, it's almost completely metal, but clearly he can see through it, because what the fuck. And he waits if it wasn't for his like very daunting armor, it would be pretty awkward of him just to wait in the middle of the room. But after a second too long, Irene notices like, oh right, Cellmaster, this is Oren. He has been charged with trespassing, and he cuts her off and just goes like, I know what he did. Follow me, Oren. And Irene gives you a look of like,
Gingerly get up from the
yeah, and as you get up, you see that your clothes have indeed been changed into like very simple, almost potato sack like simple shirt and pants that just do the job.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say Burton's wearing something similar?
Yeah, pretty similar, you'd say.
Right.
Right. I see. Oh shit! Wait. So, I was meant to open a tab and I forgot to. Oops. Permettili. Yes. So, yes. You stand up, and right when you stand up, this armored figure just turns and begins to walk. And you see, coming off of his right pauldron, you see what seems to be like a half cape. I have hiccups. It is this deep red fabric that almost reaches the ground, and you see on the fabric itself embroidered is what seems to be like in this almost golden thread, the simplified shape of a spear. And then and this is, it's pointing down. Oh, from the point of the spear you see like almost light rays coming from it, like from the tip of the spear as such, but in this, you know, ornate embroidered design. But yes, he walks, and Isabel, you know, sees you out essentially, but her face lacks the initial smugness, and she just goes like, pleasure meeting you, Oren. I hope to see you again.
I'm not.
But yes, do you follow the Cellmaster?
I'm following him.
You're following him.
Is there someone else around?
So, when you follow him out of the room you were in, you are faced with this corridor. The same, you know, like fortress-like structure with the large stone bricks that make up the majority of the walls. You see wooden beams across the ceiling, reinforced by metal bars. No windows leading anywhere, just several reinforced doors and torches lighting this corridor. And he walks forward, and occasionally in the corner of your eye, you see certain people from behind certain doors, like the doors have small windows with iron grating. But other than that, this corridor is quite empty currently.
I guess I'll follow.
So you follow him, and eventually, on the opposite end of this corridor, you reach a larger door made mostly of this dark wood, but the edges and the hinges made of like reinforced wrought iron. Purely function, no form per se. Just built for strength. And you see two guards standing on opposite ends of this door. And as soon as Cellmaster he stops in front of them, the two guards give a salute, and you notice they're both holding spears, and their salute is essentially just lifting the spear in his direction and then placing it back next to them, and then they go to open the door. You squint because the first thing you see is daylight. But then similarly, immediately you notice, wait, no, this is firelight. But very
Right.
bright firelight, bro. And you look in his direction, and you were never instructed to look at the sun. But like, what the fuck type of fire is shedding this much light? And you look, and quite a distance away, you see. So if a sun is a circle that gives off a lot of light, you see this long, almost like vertical line that
Right.
gives off a pretty similar amount of light. And currently, to be honest, like it's fairly far away, and the fact that your eyes are still adjusting, you can't see any like detail. Which, to be fair, you can't see the detail on the sun when you look at it. You just feel the sizzling of your retinas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just see a very long sun.
Mhm.
If
Long
anything,
sun.
you notice like you look around and there is no sun currently. Like it's just the sky itself, the atmosphere. It's like it's the sky, the colors of a sunrise, but centered on this vertical sun, if you will. Anyway, you find yourself in a courtyard.
Vertical sun is crazy.
Yeah. Long sun. And in this courtyard, you see, in the direction that you're walking in, it is very much fenced off. This path is specifically to transfer prisoners or perpetrators or whatever they are considering you at the moment from one end of this fortress to the next. And you see occasionally on either side of this fenced off path guards, both facing the path and facing away. And in several areas of this courtyard, you see what might be newer guards being trained by an instructor. Almost all of them fighting with spears and a large tower shield. You see several against, like in a corner of this courtyard, you see like a makeshift blacksmith um, ensemble, if you will. You see a relatively small forge with like a bit too small of an anvil, and there's equipment, there's leather straps, there's iron ingots, it's decently equipped. And you see he's currently in the process of hammering against what looks to be a helmet that was dented, and he's trying to hammer out the dent from the inside. And that dent, you know for a fact that whoever owns that helmet is not with us anymore. But mhux żmien il-ħela, so girl, we're gonna reuse this helmet.
Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Work. 3 hours. But yes, you make your way across the courtyard, and there are quite a few other people walking around, but it's not the largest courtyard, so you make it across relatively quickly. And then you eventually go through a similar, like, heavy set of wooden doors. And you find yourself in what seems to be a complex of different cells with heavy metal bars from floor to ceiling. And again, it doesn't seem to be the largest cell block. Maybe a total of like 8 separate cells. Only around half of them have people within them. You see in one of them, there's a group of younger folk wearing similar clothing to you, and you see 3 of them are like in the corner of the cell talking amongst each other, and they look up to you and just give you like a nod of like, a new one, hello. You see
Yay.
in another cell is this older man sitting against the corner of the cell on his own, and he seems to be just like knees tucked in and just muttering to himself, and he gives you a look, an almost animalistic look, and just goes back to whatever he was saying to himself. And then you are led into a cell with 3 other people, which is kind of bullshit, because with all due respect, there's 3 other empty cells. But hey, country boys make them. And the door, you see Cellmaster. He from the chest plate, which is dense as fuck, you see underneath one of the plates he has like a compartment as such, like like his armor has pockets. Whoa. But it's like within.
Thanks, that's pocket.
Would you believe it has pockets? Anyway, Jesus Christ, my voice. Did you hear that shit? Bad. And he pulls out this almost like a device,
Right.
and you see him mutter something under his breath, and it's like a bunch of metal rods, which, as he mutters something under his breath, they all seem to shift and move and form this very complex, what you discover to be a key, which he then uses to open the cell door just enough for you to fit in, and he just grabs you by the shoulder and shoves you in there, and it closes back.
Shit, thank God I'm a skinny ass man.
Skinny
Lanky as fuck.
Mariah.
Yup.
And without a word, he just leaves.
Just how the fuck was Bert expecting me to escape? How was he expecting me to run?
You just hear Bird's voice like next to you, just goes like, "Hey, I ain't telling you how. I just gave you a recommendation, a friendly
Yes.
idea."
Right, I feel like that's kind of idea is one that is easy to come up with on a surface level.
From behind you, you just hear another voice this time. It just goes like, "My friend, with all due respect, no one has spoken to you yet. Why do you reply to an unknown question?"
Sorry, just thinking out loud.
And you turn and you're pretty shocked at, at what you see. You see a man with. Now, you're quite the open minded man.
Right,
You don't judge,
but
you know. But his skin is a bright, deep red.
iconic.
You've never seen that before, but the part that concerns you the most is the horns
Right.
coming out of his forehead.
For the 50th time today, I'm going to stumble back.
Yeah, a bit of a weird place to be wearing a costume. Um but hey. And you stumble back and this guy just goes like, "Damn, okay, I know I'm not a sight for sore eyes, but no need to stumble back in such a dramatic way. My name is Darius, by the way. Not freak monster. You okay?"
Yeah,
And he gives you a hand to pull you back up.
Orin,
And for the first time, his hand is not cold. If anything, it's very warm. It's
Oh.
pretty nice.
Oh.
Oren,
you've got warm hands.
thank you, I think.
It's a
I
compliment
do
again.
run fairly hot, so. What brings you here, good sir?
And that's the question.
Hey, there's no
First
need to
person,
hide
I
anything from
guess.
us. We are in the same boat, you and I. The whole "I don't know" shtick, that's for the people outside.
Are we in the same boat?
We're both behind the same bars, are we not?
Sure.
Under the same weight of a ticking clock, waiting for our necks to snap. Isn't it lovely?
That's the way to put it.
So, what are you in for?
According to them, trespassing.
And according to you?
No fucking clue.
Oh wow, you mean it.
What are you in here for?
Petty theft.
Do you mean that?
Hmm?
And do you mean it?
If you consider 6 vaults and several shops and a few guards and their gold petty, Yes, of course I mean it with all of my heart.
Right.
And you hear from like the other end of this cell, like the third member of this four-person cell currently. Excuse me. Wait, I need to write this down. Right, right. Right. Hello? Girl, this isn't the thing I was trying to find. Give me a second, my love.
Take all the time.
Um, um, whore. Am I okay?
No. But all good, because me neither. Yeah, neither is Oren. Let's go. Woo! Oh, he looks insane, everyone.
Yeah.
He looks insane to himself, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's how crazy that shit. He's like, yep, I've lost it. I don't know what I've lost, but I've lost it.
Whoa.
What?
Come on. Yes. Okay. I just got my shit together. Let's go. Mano.
Nice.
From the other end of the cell, you hear another voice. This time a woman's voice, and she just goes like, "Well, Darius, are you going to introduce me, or am I going to have to do it myself?" And you turn, and this time it's a bit less of a shock,
Mm-hmm.
because you know the red one is like, "Whoa, red, angry." This person is like a calm blue, and
Mhm.
the horns are a bit smaller, but still, you know, curving out. One seems to be chipped away, but it's covered. Um, like the part that is missing seems to have been replaced by a gold tip. Um, and you see um, Darius's eyes are almost all entirely black, like sclera, iris, almost everything. Whereas this blue tiefling, um, you see she has normal white scleras, but then the irises are blue, but the rim around the outer edge of the iris is like this gold color that almost seems to glow. Um, and what strikes you honestly the most is the cat-like pupils. You know, you're used to round ones, man. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Am I dead? I think I'm dead. I'm in hell. This is hell. Oh my god, demons. I am in hell. Fuck. And she just walks up to you, and you see she is wearing the same type of clothing as is Darius, but you see her shirt seems to be. She tied it in a knot,
Oh, cunt.
so it's not like cropped and tighter. Um,
Cunt.
yeah, of course. And she just puts her hand right up in your business basically and just goes, "Diana, a pleasure." And just waits expectantly.
And he just stares.
Darius pushes down her hand slowly and goes like, okay, now, let us not stress out this man. He seems to be a bit out of sorts.
A bit.
Um, right. Well, since
Yes.
we are making introductions, Edmund, are you awake, sir? And you see, against, like right next to the door where you came in, you see a man. Not a bright color this time.
Wow.
If anything, it's quite the olive complexion, similar to you. And let me see. Okay. Hopefully I don't mismatch the names. And you see him just when he hears his name, he oh, am I not audible? Hello? Okay, there we go. Ush, I didn't have the green rim for a
Oh, no.
second as I was yapping. I was like, damn, is Discord fucking ignoring me? Anyway.
No.
You see Edmund, as soon as his name was called, he's initially just sitting against the bars right next to the door, but he stirs, like he jolts up and goes like, hello? Oh
Wow.
shit, new guy. Hey, welcome. You won't have long here, so enjoy it while it lasts. Who are you? And Darius, I'll save you the repetition, good sir. His name is Orin. He does not seem to know why he is here. And you see Edmund just go like, ah, yes, classic. Of course, good sir. You don't know. And you see he's very emaciated and just. And also, his ears are weirdly pointy. But you're sure it's maybe just like he's born with it, you're not gonna judge, there's a fucking red and blue person, like a bit of a pointy ear, that's fine. Like when in Rome, what's Rome? And you see Darius just is looking at you, like thinking, and just goes, where are you from, exactly? I know many people in this town, and you are not a familiar face.
I don't know.
Wow. Did the cell master hit you in the head, or?
That would explain a lot. If it was the case. I think.
Right. I mean, you seem to be a bit banged up, and you see he pokes at your stitched up gash.
Oh.
Were you in a fight? Is that why you're here? Causing a disturbance?
I was, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
In a fight.
I'm sure it was self-defense. Right, sir?
Yeah.
You know what I'm noticing here is you aren't here for defending your own self. I just wanted to treat the woman I love to something pretty. But my coin purse was rather thin, so I wanted to feel it a bit. And Edmund here, well, Somehow, you, Oren, my friend, you are the first person I can very safely say that you are more of a confusion than him. And that is something. I have known this man for years. And his mind dissuades me. But I'm sure he didn't do anything wrong. If anything, I feel like he was just tied to my doing. Basically, what I'm saying here is that I am in firm belief that all four of us here, we are here unjustly. And, you know, if I happen to know a way out, it would behoove you to help, no? You hear Bert's voice go like, you better say yes, sir. It would behoove? Is that what he said? Behoove.
I was going to say it.
Darius is just like, right. So?
Sure.
Nah, music to my ears. His very pointy ears. So. And you see, as he thinks, he's like tapping something against his chin, and he notices the very same key type device that the Cell Master has.
Shit.
He's like, so, I wonder how he can. Oh, my word, it just fell into my hand.
How did you do that?
Family secrets, let's say.
Sure.
Sir, I am no thief. Things just seem to suddenly appear in my possession.
And I woke up in an empty cathedral.
Exactly. Okay, so. And he starts to look around. And just. And you see, like, Diana, she like walks up to him and just goes like, "Oh, Darius, ever as charming." And Darius goes like, "Only for you, my love." And he gives her like this passionate kiss, and in the meantime he opens the door, like it swings open. It's a bit, it's a bit
That is-
creepy.
The straightest activity.
Yes. And shit, the cell doors open. And you see on the opposite end is where that older man that was sitting on the floor, like muttering to himself. He notices the door opens and he suddenly stands and like clutches at his like bars facing you and just like reaches. And Darius like looks at the key and just goes like, catch, and just throws it at the guy, and he like almost drops it, but then he holds it. And Darius turns towards like mainly you, because he's trying to explain what's happening, and he just goes like, we should leave before this man starts to scream, because that key will not work for his cell. Let's go. And you see there's only one exit to this room, and yet you see Darius walk in the opposite direction towards a very brick wall. And he just goes, he turns towards you and goes like, do you you know what, actually? And he reaches up to your face and just pulls off the stitch. And just goes, Look, I'm sorry, sir. I'll do it later. I just need this, okay? And he turns around and he starts to like weave it between he starts to weave it between his fingers, and as he's
Some of
muttering,
them I've heard this just pulled off more than once.
huh? Oh,
From my face, even. Huh?
um, but yes, he starts weaving it between his fingers and he starts muttering. And as he's muttering, you see, like, you're first to, like, blink your eyes a few times because the wall, like the area right in front of him, starts to look like as if you're crossing your eyes. Um, like two images seem to like blur together.
Love.
And then once he like casts it, it's this what used to be the string in your face um
Mm.
glows and then like unmaterializes essentially, and these specks stick to the wall in specific spots and they create a pattern with this like glowing red lines, almost like a pentagram type pattern, and then suddenly you can see through. And at this point your brain is like clocking out like, what the you know what, sure.
Literally.
um and you see Darius just gets back up and just looks towards Diana and just goes, beautiful ladies first, of course. And she, gives a little chuckle and walks through as if they've done this a million times, which they probably have. And then you see Edmund, like you see Darius goes like, okay, so that's Diana, Oren, Edmund, get up! And you see he almost like fell asleep again. He goes like, right, right, and he just practically scurries in your direction and just runs through. And then he looks to you and goes like, you are free, good sir. You have a few seconds left, so please, I would like to leave.
Right, right. Do I see Bert?
Not currently, no.
Right. Okay. I'll just go through.
You go through and you hear footsteps behind you. And as this like, almost spectral like doorway begins to close, you hear the voice of an old man beginning to yell and just goes like, ah, damn you, you bitch, God, God! And then it closes. You now find yourself in what looks like a night sky above you. And around you is a number of camps with a small flame. So these camps are like set up almost in like a circular shape. And you see Diana is already running towards a group of similarly blue, which you're like, but then you start to see several other people of all shapes and colors. But what sticks out to you is that despite the fact that a lot of these people are very different to what you're used to, each camp is so clearly just a family. You know? So that edge of confusion, softens a bit. Like, I mean, they're still, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but at least I know that they're people.
Mhm.
And yeah, you see Darius walks ahead of you, and he seems to be just Ismushay Moshe, as if he wasn't about to get hung.
Literally.
And he's making a bit of a check of each of the people there, and you can see that he's familiar with a lot of them. He has like specific greetings to some of them, like some immediately going for a hug, others going for like a bro thing. You see even several kids run up to him and like grab onto his legs, and he picks them up.
Aww.
And yeah, you see a group of people. They're like sitting in front of this fairly large, what looks to be like a campfire almost, but pretty big. If anything, you can like feel the heat emanating from it from here. And you're like at the edge currently. And you take a moment to breathe.
I know this music.
Oh my god, yes, at night. It's from fucking Castles. The mobile game, the Elder Scrolls.
I felt like a sleeper agent. And I was like,
You man, literally.
I know. What was the melody?
What is that melody? But yes, you take a second to breathe. It's the first time today that you are not in an immediate danger. At least you
Like,
hope,
no.
as at. And
Calmer, but still on edge.
I wonder why. Oh, Shaidolo. By the time that Darius has made a full run of everyone there, he notices that you're still just
In the same spot.
standing there, and he approaches you and puts a hand on your
King
shoulder.
of zoned the fuck out.
Yup. But yes, he puts a hand on your shoulder, and that seems to snap you back to what's actually happening around you. Oh, he just looks to you and goes like, so, we don't have much currently, but we can offer you, at least for now, a place to rest, recover. I can stitch you back up. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Good. Let me take you to the camp where you can stay in. And he leads you to one of the larger camps. And when you walk into it, you see a number of cots and Madonna Shadow, like as such sleeping bags, but very ramshackle, lining the floor. You can see most of them already have very knocked out people in them, and you see Darius as he's leading you to this place. He gets a wineskin and hands it to you and goes like, drink. You look dehydrated as fuck, sir. You need some liquids in you. And you go to drink, and it is something strong, girl. Like, you take a big chug expecting water, But then in hindsight, like, why were you expecting water? You know what I mean? It's like this guy doesn't seem to be the type of.
It was more of a desire than an expectation.
Yes. Like that initial swallow, you choke on it a bit out of the pure, like, oh my god, what the fuck is in that thing, bro? And he looks at you with that knowing mischief in his eyes, like, yeah, yeah. It's good, no? I'll get you some water later on, don't worry. But you can stay here for now, and he leads you to like a small setup. You see the floor. There's a few smaller bits of furs and even just packed leaves and stuff on top of the quad to try on top underneath the quad to try and soften, you know, the fact that you're resting on the floor. He goes like, I know it's not much, but
Me personally, I'd sleep.
yeah, same. But rest for now. I know for a fact that I need it. And we'll talk tomorrow. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he pats you on the shoulder and just goes like
And so,
wait. The whole
right, yeah.
situation. And he runs into a different tent and comes back with a little pouch of stuff. And you see, with pretty practiced hands, he ties a knot on the suture and starts to pretty quickly stitch up your face. And yeah, and to be honest, despite the very unfamiliar red that is all of this man, in terms of features, like his actual face, apart from the fact that he's very handsome, with like this. Oh.
Hey,
Bourbon.
what you doing? Okay.
What?
Getting into something. I think I know what the second is, but just a good conversion. She said it's like around 1,000 euros, and last time I checked my credit card, it's around 1,000. So I could literally get it. You can get it.
Here's one smooth. What are you doing? Good night. Love you.
Yes. So despite the very red nature of this man, like his face is one, like you can tell, that has known love and pain, you know. But you can see the slight laugh lines and crow's feet at the corner of his eyes that says, you know, he's one that tends to smile, be it for the charm or for genuine reasons. And you can see, like, despite you literally just met this guy, he's putting genuine effort and care into each stitch that he's putting on your face. He could have just walked away.
Why?
Yeah, like, why bother? But he still went out of his way to do it, you know? He didn't need to. And you find yourself appreciating
Yeah.
that. And once he's done, he cuts the end of the final stitch and he packs things up. And wordlessly, he just gives you a pat on the shoulder, a look of just rest, and he walks away into another camp. And yeah, you take a second to breathe, and I think right now your mind would be in a bit of a survival mode of, I'm not gonna think about what just happened, I'm just gonna rest. And when you do lay down, it's that
No.
it's that mixture of like, you're in so much pain, but it's an ache that like you're laying down, so it starts to like feel a bit good, you know? Like that type of ache that basically like, oh my god, okay, and you go to stretch and you're like, oh, okay.
What I'm in right now.
Yup, same. And yeah, no, sleep surprisingly takes you very quickly.
It's like a brick.
Yup. And we can continue next time. Yeah.
Baby.